Well, hello everybody. It's the Pearlo Wisdom Show, the NHL Pearlo Wisdom Show, and we are back for this evening, the evening before the big expansion draft tomorrow. Everybody's all aflutter. Been having like well, not huge, I guess, having conversations, trying to calm Montreal Canadiens fans. They're down to think that he's going to Seattle or could. He's not going to Seattle. There's no way Carey Price is going to Seattle. I just did a video on it, but there's several reasons for it. One of the reasons is the first thing that I guess it's just you right now, yeah. One of the big reasons why was when it first happened, his wife put out an Instagram telling everybody to calm down. It's going to be okay. Just wait to see what happens. Uh, Basically saying that she knows something and that it's going to, and it doesn't make any sense. There's just no way that Seattle signed Drigger first. See, I don't know why they didn't let him go to free agency. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not going to Seattle. His wife put out an Instagram right away, reassuring everybody that, and it's just Ron Francis is too smart to take that contract anyways. There's just no way, no way, no way. It's not happening. No way. I don't know exactly what all went down. I heard it was something. Uh, they Bergevin said that uh, Francis wanted a first and a third to not take Allen. And by the way, hit the like button if you could. To not take Allen. And he's balked and said, fine, we'll just put Price up there. Now, why would he just say, fine, we'll just put Price up there? It's just because he thinks he's going to take Price? Obviously not going to take Price. They know he's not going to get taken and all of that sort of stuff. There's no way that Price is not going to be the Seattle goaltender. Absolutely not. There's no way. So it's it's a foregone conclusion. What I am hearing though that's interesting, the media is playing this up. I wouldn't even doubt if Bergevin called up the league and said, "Hey, do you want some drama for your expansion draft thing? We'll play up this story here." Can you guys hear me? I should have my headphones on, I guess. They're going to play up this story here that they could take Price and he's from Seattle and blah 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 blah. But what I am hearing that is that could happen, and it makes sense, is that Montreal is working on a side deal with Seattle for them to take Drouin, and they would give up a second round pick and Romanoff to get Drouin off their hands. Tarasenko, yeah, Tarasenko apparently, Seattle's open to the idea of taking him and then retaining some salary to get a pick from somebody, and the most interested, from what I understand, is the New York Islanders. Yeah, yeah, Romanoff, yeah, Romanoff, a second, and Drouin, and because they get rid of that Drouin contract that hasn't worked out at all. Romanoff, a second round pick, and Drouin. Price will be back in Montreal. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about that, for sure. To me, anyways, like I don't see a where it makes sense for Seattle to take Price. He had a great playoffs, but you got to make them, and I don't see them making it. No first round pick, no, not giving up a first. Romanoff, second round pick to take Drouin. if they take Drouin. So I don't know what's going on with Drouin next year, but if he's not going to play again, then Seattle can just reach the floor with that, and they get a pick in a second round, and a pick and Romanov, who can play on the roster. And he's young, he's good, he's a good, solid defenseman for how young he is, anyways. So nice little move if that's what they do, for sure. Well, it depends on I don't know how Bishop is. Is he okay? I don't know if I'm going to take Bishop or not. I mean, I'd have to know what the doctors are saying there. You heard that wife told media that David Krejci is not going back to Boston? If so, you said 2 years. I'm very skeptical about whether I'm taking Bishop. I got to be 100% sure he's going to be able to play, and I just don't know if that's going to be possible there. Well, if Krejci's not going to Boston, then they're rebuilding. I mean, unless they've got another center in mind, I mean, that's possible. Maybe they're the ones that are in on Drouin, but I doubt it. Drouin's going to want a long contract, so. Okay, let me look that up. Is that getting confirmed now? Okay, I don't see where it's been confirmed, but yeah, he was supposed to be going to Seattle, from what I understand. I'm trying to share this out here so we can get some people in here. Where the heck is everybody today? Yeah, he's for sure going there. The question is, I just don't see him going there before the actual free agency opens. They'll work out a deal, and they'll take another Florida player with them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it makes much sense to sign him before the free agency opens or before the expansion draft, because then that'll be your pick. You could still get another player from Florida. So, and why would you want to weaken the team you're going to So they could get another. They could get another player from Florida, and which would be, I don't know. Trying to think, who did Florida have on there that was of interest besides. Take a look here. Florida. We did it last night and I already forget. So you could take Vetrano. I love Vetrano. That would be good. You sign Drigger after a Molten Bull, yeah. It wouldn't hurt them too much, but I would take Vetrano all day. You get Drigger and Vetrano off of Florida, which, like, it's sort of like last time when they lost Riley Smith and Marchessault. They get hurt again pretty hard. Molten Bull. Yeah. I think they take Vetrano. He's a 20 to 25 goal scorer. He finally would get an opportunity to be the top 6 guy on a team. He's got a killer shot. And he's young. He's relatively young. So. Yeah, he's very inconsistent, Molten Bull. He has his days, but most days are not good. It doesn't look like he's going to make it as a... If he does, he's going to be a late bloomer. He's big, but his maneuverability is not the greatest. He's not very mobile. He has the size, but he doesn't have the mobility. He can, if you put him side to side, he gets crushed pretty good, actually. But okay, I heard a good rumor today was, not a rumor, it was a statement. The LA Kings are looking to trade their first round pick, their number 8 spot pick. They're open to trade that number 8 spot pick. I was looking at a couple teams that would work for, and then also we'll get into Eichel again because that's huge. But the only ones I could see, if apparently they're out of the Eichel talks for now, but I could see them being on the Reinhart talks. They need wingers, although Reinhart is a center. He also plays really well on wing. I could see them switching from Eichel to Reinhart, but it would take more than the first this year because this year's first is not. Well, there's a couple. Tampa Bay would probably, they're giving away Killorn and Palat and all those guys for free. I'm pretty sure for one of those guys, and I would think Killorn would be the guy. I don't think a center. They're stacked up the middle. They got Byfield, Turcotte, Kopitar, Jared Dolan. Yeah, I don't think it would be a center. I think they're looking for wingers. That's the bonus about LA. They're so stacked up the middle that they can look for wingers now. Wingers, of course, are easier to find. So I could see them going for Reinhart. They would have to add more to that. They do have Kaliev and Kupari coming up. But if not that, I could see maybe Killorn in Tampa Bay. But what's his? I don't think Killorn has too many years left on his contract. Let me look. But Tampa Bay would probably be happy to get, in their situation, to get that high of a first for one of those wingers. If I'm them, I want more than Killorn for that pick, I think, because you got him by the short hairs. Nobody's going to be able to give you as much as you're going to give them. There's nobody that's going to give you that high of a pick. For Killorn. As much as Killorn did really good in the playoffs. He's 31. He's got 2 more years at 4.5, and then you'd have to re-sign him again. So, yeah, I'd want Killorn and somebody like Joseph or something like that. And Tampa Bay should be pretty happy to get that high of a pick for Killorn. That's what I was thinking would be best. Besides that, there wasn't too many teams in the league that would be willing to give up a winger, a really good winger for that pick, I don't think. It's going to have to be a team that, like Tampa Bay, needs to retool and they need to get rid of some contracts. But, yeah, Nino and Jake Bean protected. Unprotected. I think you still take Jake Bean there. I'm a little concerned about Niederreiter constantly getting this shunned from every team he's at. And if I'm in Seattle, I really want to be careful that I bring in guys that are good in the room, especially when you're starting your initial culture. I'm pretty sure they'll take Bean. Yeah. They're going to take a lot of young players and probably players that I wouldn't even think about. When you think about that package I just said about Montreal, that tells you the kind of that tells you the kind of thing that he's doing out there. If he's able to get value of a Romanov in a second to take Drouin, what is he going to get for a lot of other players out there? Like Eberle and the Island. Yeah, I don't think he'll take Geeky too, but I do get it. I mean, he's got a lot of upside. It's just he's got skating issues. Geeky's got skating issues. I don't see... The only way they would take Geeky is if they work out a deal to not take somebody else. And then they get Geeky and another pick or something like that. He's got a thing for Geeky, I guess. I don't know, but... Yeah, I don't think he'll take Geeky either. I think we're going to be very surprised with that team tomorrow. I was looking over my picks again, and it was like Giordano. I only take Giordano if I talk around the league, and it shows that I can get some picks for him. Otherwise, I don't see the value of taking Giordano. I know you need a captain, but You can do that on free agency. I think I'd probably roll with Shylington. Oh, yeah? The younger brother? Wow, I didn't know he even had a younger brother. That's pretty cool. In the Western Hockey League. Oh, Connor Geeky. Since it's just you and I tonight, I don't know where everybody is tonight. Connor Geeky. Elite prospects. Yeah, 23 points in 24 games. His first year in the Western Hockey League. That's pretty good points. How big of a kid is he? 6'4", 205, yeah. Hopefully he's got better skating than his brother. From Strathclair, Manitoba. Wow. That's a farming town right there. My parents live not too far away from there. Yeah. I didn't even. Yeah, it's the Western Hockey League because he's from Strathclair, Manitoba. Yeah. So the other thing I heard was the other thing they was talking about today was that Eichel. Apparently, the only two teams in on the Eichel sweepstakes right now are Minnesota and the New York Rangers. No, it's New York Rangers and Wild. The New York Rangers and the Wild are the only two teams still in, I guess. I don't know what they would be offering, but apparently what they want is 2 roster players, 2 prospects, and a first-round pick. No, the Avs aren't in as far as I know. I mean, he could, but I never heard anything about it. I heard that, so if you look at it, if that's the case, if it's the Rangers, if it's 2 roster players, they got to be fairly significant. It does make sense it could be the Rangers because they have roster players they can live without. I'm going to guess that would be Buchnevich. I wonder if they're going to be looking at defensemen at all, but if probably not. Buchnevich and Stahl. Ryan Strome, who would have to be re-signed. So they'd have to talk to him because he's going to be a UFA next year. If he's willing to sign a long-term contract, Strome and Buchnevich, because those are the guys I've heard the most about. And then for prospects, like, well, you could even say Capo Caco is a roster player, really. Maybe Kravtsov, because I don't think if they're going to give up Buchnevich, they're not going to give up Capo Caco. I think they're going to try to hold Capo Caco. And I don't think they're going to get Alexis Lafreniere. I don't think they're going to get him. But if they gave up Kako and Strome, maybe. Kako, Strome. The Wild would be pretty easy, actually. It would be Rossi. Let me bring up the Wild. I had it figured out what it would be. I don't know what the two roster players would be. That's what I don't know. That would be the hard one. I'd love to have Jordan Greenway, but that'd be hard to give up on. Fiala, like Nico Sturm, Rossi. If they did it before the expansion draft, they could go Rossi, Capo, Kakinen, and a first or something like that. But that's a lot to give up. You better make sure he's not hurt. I'll tell you that right now. You better make darn good and sure he's not hurt. But, I mean, it makes sense. I'm pretty positive Kaprizov is sitting there wondering what his center is going to be long term. You know, Rossi could be good, but hey, CL, there's some people coming in. Quiet day here, CL. How you doing? We can talk specifically about your team. Kreider, Miller, Kako, and Kravtsov. Wow, I would do that all day. Is it Kreider or Kreider? Kreider. I love Miller. I just freaking love that guy. Kako and Kravtsov, I would do that. That's like a lot of their offense. Holy crap. That would be a lot of their offense off the books. I would... Kako, Kravtsov, Kreider, and Miller. Man, Miller's a hard one to lose. I just freaking love that guy. Yeah, if I'm Buffalo, I'm all over that deal. I think Kreider's going to be pretty... Does Kreider have a no movement clause, though? I have a feeling he's got an NMC. He does, yeah. That would be the thing. I don't think he's going to waive that. I'm not waiving that if I'm him. Yeah, there's no way Kreider would be part of that deal. But if I'm getting Miller... Jeez, let me look at that, what you put up there again. If I'm getting Miller... Weichel! Yeah, buddy! Yeah, they got Barclay Goodrow too, so they could. That's one. You think they got Barclay Goodrow, who apparently they're going to give $3.5 million for 6 years? Woo! That is a chunk of change, buddy. You better hope his offense starts to pan out a little bit. But I mean, he is a Warrior. That contract looks pretty crazy. So. Does he play center, though? He plays center and wing, doesn't he? Do they even... Yeah, Barclay Goodrow. Left wing. No, he plays left wing. So you got Barclay Goodrow coming in. Last year he had 20 points in 55 games. I think he's got higher upside for points than that. Not much higher. So... you could lose a left winger. Man, they got a lot of righties. I think that's really what their problem is they got too many righties. I think it would be Buchnevich. Oh, let's see. Who are you going to do instead of Kreider? I'm not giving up Alexis Lafreniere. So I think it's going to be Buchnevich, Kravtsov, and Kako, or Miller. Like, oh man, if Miller's part of that deal. The New York Rangers certainly seem like the place that would most likely. I think Ryan Strome would for sure be part of that deal because he plays second line center as it is. If you make that deal, you still got Eichel with Lafreniere, and Strome, Kako, Miller. I think Blackwell could be selected by the Kraken. I don't think he'd be willing to waive that. Why would you waive that to go to Buffalo? Oh, no. No. I don't know. I would be even afraid to ask him to waive it, to tell you the honest truth. I would be. Kreider, Miller, Kako, and Kravtsov. So we got to change Kreider out. I would say Strome. Strome, Miller, Kako, and Kravtsov. I don't even know if you'd have to give up your first round pick if you gave that much, seriously. No, I don't think they'd have to give up Dylan Cousins. I don't think they would have to give up Dylan Cousins with that. Maybe if they got this year's first, but I know they have a hefty price. They're asking for 2 players that can play now, 2 roster players, 2 prospects, and a first-round pick. And apparently Anaheim was in it, and then they got out. LA was in it, they got out. I don't know what they were asking for from LA. It'll be it's going to be really interesting to A, see what they get, and B, hear the rumors about what they didn't get later. Like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not doing that deal if I'm the Rangers. Nope. I think you'd have to get rid of Skinner. You probably would get. You'd have to give up so much. That Skinner contract is so bad. You practically would have to give up Eichel with Skinner and get nothing in return to get rid of the contract. That's how bad that contract is. Like, even at $4.5 million, I don't want Skinner. You watch that guy play. He's garbage, man. Absolute garbage. He's behind the play all the time. He doesn't go into any spots that you need to score. He's just garbage. And he's going to eventually get bought out like way later, but he's horrible. What was that figure skater that took the knees out of way back in the 80s there? Somebody's got to do that to him. Kerrigan was her name, I think, was the one that got her knees batted out. Yeah, Tanya Harding. Somebody's got to freaking Tanya Harding Skinner. That's what they got to do. They just got to go get somebody, just take him out at the knees. Just bust him right up. Somebody's got a Tanya Harding Skinner, man. That is the most. You got to get a hitman or something to take out his knees or something. I don't know. Put him on the IR forever. That's about the only way I can see to solve that contract. If I was a general manager, and I don't think it's legal though, that's the problem. If I was a general manager, I would be hounding that guy every day. I would be sending a trainer to his door every morning. In fact, when they sign a $9 million contract like that, when somebody signs, there should be a clause in the contract that you have to sign that you have to work out with the trainer chosen by the owner at least 5 days a week or something like that. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous, that guy. What a piece of work Skinner is. Yeah, you couldn't even retain. Like, there's so many contracts out there, like Erik Karlsson, but I mean, he still plays well, and he plays on a bad foot. Like, he gives everything he's got, at least, but you're never getting rid of that contract. Never in a million years. And then Louis Eriksson, I would, if I'm Vancouver, I'd be giving up a first to get rid of him this year. Get rid of that contract, Louis Eriksson contract. So you can, there's been talk about them trading Brock Besser. Now, I think Brock is from the United States. He might have hinted to them that he's not going to sign a long term and he's going to go back to the United States in free agency. In which case, then I guess you have no choice but to make that deal. But yeah, I mean, when that trade happened and they got that little bit back, like, it was obviously Dundon saying, get rid of this freaking dickwad, right? Like, get rid of this freaking guy. I don't even want to look at him again. That's what I was saying when they traded him back. I was like, this guy must be some kind of idiot. For them to just basically give him away. And like, you could tell when he did it, they were like happy. I think everybody wanted Skinner off the team. It's just they finally got an owner that said, you know what? Yeah, I don't care about the money. Before that, it was like, well, we can't afford to have him. No, we're paying him. He's got to play him. You're not going to get anything in return. Not to mention a general manager. Like, you got a general manager in Waddell that will do that sort of a deal as well. And just, they realize the value of having a waste of skin on your team that annoys the crap out of everybody. Like, they realize the value is like, who cares what you get for him? And not only that, they knew what his contract demands were. So it sounds like Waddell was honest with everybody that was going to come in and said, hey, he's wanting a $9 million a year contract, just so you know. And they were probably honest with everybody. And so the rest of the league was like, well, I'm not giving you nothing. There's no way I'm paying him $9 million a year. Forget that nonsense. And Buffalo said, well, we'll try him. And then he went to the gym all summer and he worked his way up and he gave up his body to get that $9 million. And then it was just nothing. So anyways, we were back to LA trading that pick. Yeah, I think Tampa will do it. That would be like getting a number 8 pick for them would be pretty huge, considering they want to get rid of cap room. If they could pull and LA could use a big guy like Killorn. I was looking at their defense actually. Their defense is pretty small. They don't have a single guy over 6'1" on their defense. I didn't realize how small it was. I was going to look it up here. Well, they like Peterson, so they're not worried about getting another one. But they want to win now. They've said it over and over again. Apparently, they're in on Schwartz. By the way, I think St. Louis is going to trade everybody away. I think St. Louis has figured out that it's time for a rebuild. If they may try to add more or different players, possibly, but I think they're going to be a big shuffle there in St. Louis. But if they let Schwartz go, they love Schwartz. If they let Schwartz go, for sure, it's a rebuild. Where's the LA Kings? They've got lots of defensemen, and they're fairly young. But every D-man they have, besides Oli Mata, is 6'1" or under. Matt Roy, 6'1", 200 pounds. Sean Walker's a little guy, right? 5'11", 180. He's from Keswick, Ontario. Oh, didn't know that. Michael Anderson, 5'11". Played really well last year. Tobias Bjornfort plays bigger. He's 6 foot, but he's a big boy, 202 pounds. He plays tough, but they've got a pretty small defense there in LA. Dibs on O'Reilly, yeah. I think so. I think so. From like some of the things I'm hearing, St. Louis Blues on a rebuild seems pretty likely. Yeah, they built themselves up there. They tried. They kept their first round picks, even when they were really good. They kept their first round picks. And they kept on, trying to build. They got guys like Kyrou and Thomas. But those guys are like borderline first, second line guys. So they've got a couple pieces there. I think they saved themselves that it's not going to be they don't have to do a tear down rebuild. But once Peter Angelo went, you were starting to go, okay, what are we doing here? But then they got Krug, which really didn't make sense. There was a weird moves. I believe Krug probably doesn't have. Let me look at St. Louis here. My guess is that they were giving it a shot, trying to do a retool. And I have a feeling they're not liking their team now. I don't really like their team much. Krug has a no trade clause, but it's a moderate 15-team no trade list. How old is Krug? Krug is 30, isn't he? Yeah, 30. They signed him up to $6 million a year. That's the weird thing. They got him on a cap hit at 6.5 until 2026-27. They got Robert Thomas, Kyrou, Mackenzie McEachern, and coming up they've got Jake Neighbors, Klim Kostin, but nothing screams like we're going to have a good young team here right away. But everything screams. They lose Tarasenko. Braden Shen's 29. Ryan O'Reilly's 30. I don't know. I think it's on the border. It'll all come down. If they let Jaden Schwartz go, you can pretty much be assured that they're looking at a rebuild here, I would say. I don't see Hamilton going to the Seattle Kraken, John. One, because I don't see him wanting to go to an expansion team. Two, because I don't see them wanting to spend that $8 to $9 million a year right now on an older player. Well, Binnington played really well in the second half, but his attitude, like Jake Allen wanted out of there so bad. He could not stand that kid. Jake Allen couldn't stand that kid. I think he'll be fine, but I think it's more the attitude than anything. Like he's a really cocky kid, almost like Patrick Waugh, but not as good as him. Like Patrick Waugh was one of the few players that could get away with just being a jackass because he was so good. But Binnington acts like that. And sometimes he's like off the charts good. And like you said, sometimes not so. Yeah. And they signed him up long term. So I thought O'Reilly was a little older than that, though. They may try it again for a year or two. I don't know. I don't like this team. I don't like that defense. Justin Falk, Krug, Parayko is good, but is he great? No, not really. And then, like, what do you got? Scandella. Vince Dunn is going to be gone. And you've got maybe Scott Perunovich. Like, they don't even have all that much coming up. It's all forwards pretty much. And not a fantastic prospects pool even at forward. Yeah, that's all he is. Krug is okay if he's on a really good team, but he's not a guy you want to be running your everything. So, and then Parayko's solid. I mean, you probably still got to put him as a 1-2, but I think he's borderline, to tell you the honest truth. I think he's pretty overrated. People like him because he's big. And he's not a bad defenseman, but overall, that defense core is pretty porous. It's not very good. I don't see them being relevant for quite a while. I just can't see them, Hamilton, going to Seattle, man. I don't see why they would do that. 8 years, whatever he's going to get. I don't know. I could be wrong, but well, how old is he? 28 now? Uh, 28, yeah. So you want to sign him up till he's 36? It's iffy. It's iffy. I just don't think Dougie Hamilton will want to go there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't help you get a better draft pick next year. And by the time they're relevant, which is probably going to be 4 or 5 years from now, he's 33, 34. I'll give it a maybe. I wasn't a no, but I'll give it a maybe. Maybe. Yeah. The thing about Hamilton going to the Avs is he's kind of bounced around a little bit, and Sakic really tries to avoid those. And not to mention the money he wants. Look, he's already fighting with Landeskog right now. Your captain. Your captain for years, been there ever since he was drafted, and they're going at loggerheads for a contract. It's possible, but I mean, he's got to really like him. I don't know if Sakic's going to want to give that much money to a guy for that long, who obviously has been it seems to been a room problem for quite some time. I don't think Flyers have the room to get him. I like LA. LA just seems perfect for that kind of personality. And LA's you watch, LA's going to be good. Good this year and really good next year. And then really, really good. Like, they're just going to get better and better and better. You got Turcotte, Byfield, Kaliev, Kupari. They're going to be a really good team. Flyers got Ryan Ellis. I think that's all they can afford for their D, except for filler players. Who else? Oh, New Jersey Devils. The one for me, if he doesn't mind being on a team that's going to be like, New Jersey has no defense, and I know you might say, okay, that would be, now here's the difference like between Seattle and New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils have built a solid young offense, solid young forwards. As far as forwards go, they're almost there. They've got a lot of prospects coming up. You got Zaka, you got Hughes, Kaukinen, Sharangovich, Nico Hischier. Like, they're set up pretty good. And then they picked up Graves, but they could really use Graves is a lefty. PK Subban will be off the books next year. You could throw Hamilton his like $8 million or whatever for 8 years. And I don't know, it just feels right to me. You want me to put up the players? Oh, I had my windows on, that's why. Okay, I didn't even realize I had my window on. Just wait. There we go. See? You got Ty Smith, too. So if they took Hamilton, they'd be set. They got Graves, Hamilton, Severson, and Ty Smith as their top four. That's not too shabby. Can you see the players now? There, can you see the players now? Yeah, I didn't even realize I had my windows open. I was just looking. I didn't realize you guys were doing that. Ooh, CL right on, driving home, be back soon. Good, we need a bigger party in here, man. Bring all your friends. I don't know where everybody is today. But yeah, that would be my favorite, I think. So you'd have PK Subban, which will be gone. Hamilton, Severson, Graves. Hamilton, Severson, Graves, Ty Smith, Jonas Siegenthaler. And you could probably re-sign Murray for your bottom pairing. And that's not a bad-looking defense to go with, not a bad-looking offense, and you got Mackenzie Blackwood. I like it. But it's just that weird... I don't know, it just seems like Hamilton's a really weird dude, but possibly Florida. Let's see if you guys can see it. Or okay, you guys can see. Possibly Florida. What is he a lefty Hamilton or a righty? I think he's a lefty, isn't he? Maybe Florida. Ekblad, Uyghur, Forsling, Hamilton. If he's a righty. Is he a righty? Hamilton is a right-hand shot. Okay. Florida would be a good spot. He could play behind Ekblad or ahead of Ekblad, actually. He could play with... Because Stroman is going to be gone after next year. They're not... He's done. Matt Kierstead, I know they like him quite a bit. Gustav Forsling. Who else do they have? Who am I missing here? And Radko Gudas, yeah. Florida. Florida might be my other one, I think. Why will PK Subban be gone? Well, he's a free agent, and I mean, maybe they'll re-sign him to a small deal, but he won't be getting what he did before. If he sticks around, they won't really need him. So he'd be staying for a 5-6 money if he wants to. And knowing PK Subban, he'll see if he can find some money out there. He hasn't played well ever since he was in Nashville. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a long lineup to sign PK Subban. He's a pretty eccentric dude as well. Although Hamilton and PK Subban might get along really well, since apparently they're both considered fairly eccentric. So Subban's a little nutty. Yeah, he's very yappy, I guess, and he's constantly talking all the time. Apparently, I don't know. They say the same thing about Hamilton, though. Not necessarily that he's yappy or whatever, but he's different. He's a different dude. And nobody really tells you how he's different. I really like to meet this guy because he didn't work out in Boston. He's got a different philosophy, is all they say. Now, in Boston, apparently it was because he liked to go out and party and stuff, and they like family people. They like to present an image. And he's like, screw that. I'm a young guy. I'm going to do whatever I want, blah, 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 like something like that. And Sagan, too, by the way. Same, both of them. So when he got traded to Calgary, I was like, okay, they're not going to be so strict in Calgary. It'll probably work out all right for them in Calgary. And it didn't. He obviously rubbed people the wrong way there too. And then he goes to Carolina, and he's got a contract coming up. He seemed to be going pretty well there. I hadn't heard much of anything about him being... But then Brind'Amour is not going to bring that up anyways. Yeah, he's not going to get 9.6. He's obviously going on the high side to get as high as he can. I could see him getting about 8.5 though. 8.5 seems about the number for Hamilton. I mean, he's been on Norris Trophy ballots quite a bit. So I could see him getting 8.5, and somebody like New Jersey might do that for 8 years maybe. Of course, they'd have to acquire his rights to do that, but I could maybe, I mean, that's a hard contract to swallow for a guy who's, like, again, jumped around the league so much. That's my biggest question mark with him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I got to go doggies here, even though it's only a couple of you watching. But all right, I'll be back in a bit.
Greetings. This is Steel Flyers from the Steel Flyers All Sports Network, and we have two very special guests. We are delighted to be joined by Tracy Musser and Nicole Howard from the Canine Country Club Resorts. Tracy and Nicole are both managers for CCC Resorts and work at the Windsor or at the club, one of two locations both in Manheim, Pennsylvania. Congratulations on your 30th year anniversary of being in business. Let me start off by saying this. Steel Flyer stands behind this company 100%. Taking care of Steel Flyer's furry friend for the last 2 years now, and they are a one-stop shop for everything your furry friend needs. In fact, let's find out what our friends at CCC Resorts offer. Nicole, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. What are some of the great boarding services that you guys offer, and what do we have to do in order to get our furry friends taken care of when we are unable to travel with them?
Well, we like to bring everybody in for a tour first. That way they can see the behind the scenes, they can see where they stay, they can see where they play, and then we explain all of the fun things that we can add on to their reservation, whether it be one of our packages, either a nature walk, a ball time, or even a cuddle time.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Boy, it sure sounds like a resort to me. So how are you today, Tracy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Tracy, tell me, is it true that you guys have both an indoor and an outdoor pool at the Windsor location?
It is true. We've got one of each, so we're able to offer year-round swimming. The indoor pool is a great option for dogs who are swimming for therapy or rehab. It's got that sloped entry so they can wade into the water. Our outdoor pool is a little bit larger, and it's 4 foot deep the whole way across. Both of them are saltwater pools, so it's really easy on the dog's skin and coat.
Wow, that's very awesome. So then during the summer months, you have a much deeper pool outside and then a sloped entry shallow pool indoors for the dogs. Tracy, tell the folks how we can get some pool time.
Well, the first thing everyone does is come for an intro swim. We use that time to make sure the dog is comfortable in the water. We make sure they know how to get out of the pool safely, and we go over all the pool rules and etiquette with the clients as well. After that, they're able to schedule private appointments where they have the pool to themselves, or they can invite friends and have a whole group swim going on.
So after a dip in the pool, then it would have to be off to the groomers, right? I mean, our furry friends cannot go out looking their best. Nicole, what are some of the great services your top-notch groomers provide?
Our groomers, they specialize in full service grooms. We can do the basics, whether it be just a bath and a brush out or a blowout. Or for the extra pampered pooches, we can do nail dremels, we can do deodorizing soaks, and also facials.
Wow, man, that sounds like a resort if you ask me. Tracy, I know one of the main programs here at CCC Resorts is the WAGS program. The Steel Flyers dog is enrolled in this program. So why don't you tell the folks what is involved in this and how they can get enrolled?
Yeah, the WAGS program is our primary daycare option at the Windsor. It's designed to be a structured program for people who are looking for a set routine for their dog. They all come on the same days each week, which allows them to have set friends, and we know exactly what's going on with each group. So we do a little bit more activities and we build more into their daily routine there. But we've got other daycare options as well for people looking for a little less commitment. We do an hourly care where you can drop them off and just pay by the hour. We also do a day stay option, which is great for the dogs that prefer human friends instead of making friends with other dogs. And then we have a traditional daycare option as well if you're looking for the occasional outing for your dog.
Wow, there you have it. A full-service groomer, a daycare program, and an indoor and outdoor pool. What more could you ask for? Sure seems like CCC Resorts has everything covered. Remember, DOG, depend on God.
Okay, everybody. I suppose you could probably all hear me. I forgot to shut the audio thing off again. But Taylor Hall. He keeps on saying Taylor Hall to Toronto. I don't know, maybe. I mean, now that I've heard that, who was it that Bill said that he heard somewhere that Krejci wasn't signing in Boston. Well, if he's not signing in Boston, they got to find another center, or why get Taylor Hall? Yeah, we are back. Why get Taylor Hall? Why sign Tyler Hall if you're not going to get Krejci or a center to replace him? There's no point. So time to, I don't know what they do, just mail it in next year, really. But I would have to think that if they can't sign Krejci, they're going to be out looking for somebody out there. But I don't know where he got that from. I find it highly unlikely that they don't sign Krejci unless they have somebody. You think they could have got Yanni Gourde. Well, he can do that. I mean, it's only one more year. Or he just wants to retire from the NHL. Then they're going to have to find some other center at, and there's hardly any. Who's out there? Like, there's nobody out there for centers in the free agent market. Maybe, Landeskog started out as a center. I could see them throwing some money at him, I guess. Nick Foligno, by the way, is going. I heard he's definitely going to Minnesota. But besides that, who is it? Tyler Bozak? Like, there's really nobody out there. Nick Bonino? Maybe Mikkel Granlund. Mikkel Granlund, I suppose. Nashville's apparently already has something in place with Holla. They already have a contract in play with him, so. Blake Coleman, makes some sense. He's not a center, but they really need a center. Like, they have no center. You can play Charlie Coyle up there? He can't play up there. They've tried that. That experiment failed miserably. So I don't think so. That's it either. That's about all there would be. They'd have to, or they could look at a trade. They got DeBrusk, who doesn't have much value out there. what center might be available for trade. I don't think they're going to be able to trade with Buffalo. They're not going to get Eichel, that's for sure. I don't think they got enough to get Reinhart. If I suppose if Tampa Bay can hold on to Yanni Gourde, maybe they can work out a deal for Yanni Gourde in Tampa Bay. Besides that, Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. The Rangers are apparently have Ryan Strome out there. That's a possibility. Oh, really? He said that? You actually have a quote on that or what? Jared McCann, yeah, but I mean, they got Jared McCann because apparently Ron Francis is a big fan of Kerfoot, so it looks like they're going to lose Kerfoot. So they got Jared McCann to take his place. Analytically speaking, I think Jared McCann's a better player, but I mean, again, this is guys, the red flag of jumping everywhere. He goes everywhere he goes, he doesn't last. Why? There's usually a reason for that. It's not because of his play. His play has been good. So what's the reason for it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in Toronto what the reason for it is. Did you guys hear Nolan Patrick? He did an interview, I think it was on Sirius Radio, I heard it. And he was talking about going to Vegas. And he sounded so immature. It was crazy. Like, you could tell he was angry. I don't know. It was really weird. Like, listening to him, it almost looked like he was complaining while he was talking. Check it out when you're done the stream, of course. I have a feeling he's always like that. I remember interviews when he was in junior and stuff like that. He sounds like he's whiny. Like, he sounds like a really negative dude. I think they made a mistake with Patrick, but then I don't know if Glass is any better. So that'll be interesting to see how those two do, because Glass really fell out of favor. I mean, Vegas absolutely needed a guy like Glass, a center, and he failed miserably there. Like, they wanted him to play so bad, but they couldn't play him in the lineup. He's soft as soft can be. He plays way too perimeter, and defensively he's a disaster. Yeah, both teams trading bust. So basically it might end up just being Myers for Ellis. Now, the only thing about that is Nashville has a way of, hey, CL's in the house. Nashville has a way of getting the best out of defensemen. So it's possible it could work out. Like, Myers really has so much potential. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see, because Philadelphia, like, you think about it, Provorov is a beast. But then last year he didn't have a good year. They had Moran there. He turned out to be not good. Sanheim has done okay, but lately he seems to have slipped. I'm starting to wonder about Philadelphia's development department when it comes to defensemen. And because Myers is big, I think he's still got offensive upside. He can skate really well. He's everything you wanted a defenseman, but probably won't have huge offense. I just have a feeling that Nashville might end up turning that guy into a stud defenseman. But that being said, I still like to trade for Philadelphia. Of course, you're going to say, like you would ever say, that they're not going to do great. I haven't heard one person say that Keith Yandle is going to the Leafs. If Keith Yandle goes to the Leafs, that is like a disaster. That is not what they need in Toronto at all. So, did they protect 5 defense and 3 forwards? I was meaning to look that up because I was talking to somebody. And I think he's going to Arizona. I think Yandle's going to go back. Him and Shane Doan are really good friends. I have a feeling he's going to go to Arizona. That's my thinking. But did Nashville... Okay, where's that protection list? I had it up here. Nashville. LM. Nashville. Nashville protected Cousins, Duchesne, Granlund, Grimaldi. No, they did it. No, wait. Maybe they did. Forsberg, Jeannot, Kyle Cunnin. Yeah, they did. They just protected 3 forwards. Alexander Carrier, yeah. So they're building from the defense out. And they ended up like, who are they going to take? I think one of the reasons why they did that is they want Seattle to take their first round draft pick to take Duchesne. And that is going to be a tough one because if Seattle is like, they want the first round pick. They want the first round pick from, it would probably, and not, it'll be Yarncroc, but I don't know. If they give up the first to get Johansson, then maybe I think they'll take it. If I'm Francis, I hold out just for Nashville to give me a first to take Johansson. And then I think that somehow, I don't know how, Nashville's going to try to be in on Reinhart in Buffalo. I can't think of anybody else they would be in on. Unless they do something crazy and go in for Kuznetsov or something like that, but that would be not a wise move. Reinhart would seem to be the best bet. But I don't know after giving up their first what they're going to give up to get Reinhart. And I don't think that that's going to do enough to get them to be a real contender either. Like, I don't know what Poyle's doing, to tell you the honest truth. Oh, yeah, I doubt that. I'm not giving up Askarov. No way. No way. Not even to get Duchesne off my hands. I'm not giving up Askarov. I'll give up the first this year, but not Askarov. Askarov is a franchise saver. I don't, no way I do that. Yeah, for sure. wonder if they blocked me. Yeah, I mean, I think apparently the doctor for Tarasenko says that his shoulder is rock solid. It's all good. Everything is good. So I think Tarasenko to Philly will be a possibility. Seattle takes Tarasenko, retains half the salary, but what are you going to give up? What are you going to give up? Like, I'm almost thinking I want a first back for that. Or a second and something. I know if the shoulder, if Lamoriello's confident that that shoulder is good, Islanders are going to be in on that for sure. And I think Boston might be in on that. Yeah, don't even go there. I heard that Zach Hyman to Edmonton crap for like $6 million a year or some nonsense like that. Oh, that would be a brutal if that happened. If they go $6 million for 6 or something like that with him, I'll be. It wouldn't surprise me. Let's put it that way. Well, you might as well, I think, in a lot of ways. I'll tell you what, though, I'd hate to give up on that Stillman kid if he's available. I really like that Stillman kid. That would be the hard part about trading that pick. If Stillman's still there, that would be my difficulty with that. But I get you, though. I mean, they got to win now. There's no... Unfortunately, once they fired Hextall, they pretty much were all in. I think they will take Beniers, yeah. Maybe Eklund. Francis loves those kind of guys like Beniers, so I have a feeling they're going to take Beniers. I do think, I looked into it, I do think Buffalo's going to take Power. And I could do a quick mock draft here. Why not? Why not? I had it up here already. I'll put, here we go. Let me put the window capture on. Do I got to do that now? Do a mock draft, what the heck? How come my window capture is not working? Okay, what the heck's going on here now? What's going on with my cursor? Now I can't get you guys up on the live. What in the world is going on? How did I shut my cursor off? I can't see my cursor anymore. Jeez. Wow. Crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't. My cursor's not working. There we go. No, it's not unplugged. I figured it out. I had to shut the computer down and bring it back up again. Okay. We'll do a mock draft now. Leave it up to me, right? Leave it up to me. I just had it up here. Where was it? Here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. You guys can all see that now? Perfect. Okay. So the first pick, almost assuredly by the Buffalo Sabres, will be Owen Power. And I want to change my... Owen Power. Now, Matthew Beniers. Seattle loves these kind of guys. Now, he's a center. He's not known to be like a high offensive guy, but like 60-point guy. Okay, how is it? Can you see it now? There we go. Okay, there we go. Good. Luke, Matthew Beniers. This is what's said about Matthew Beniers. He's exploded out of the gates in his NCAA career and helped Team USA to a gold medal. You can't teach size and skating ability as Power has, but it's all about the size upside with the 18-year-old. That was, yeah, Matthew Beniers. He's got size. He's 6'1", and he plays like a bat out of hell. If I were to compare him to a player, like I said, I've mentioned it several times before, he reminds me of the Folignos, but he skates better than the Folignos. So I think that's who Seattle's going to take. Anaheim, now, they have Luke Hughes here. I've seen Luke Hughes as low as 8th. And I've seen him as high as 3rd. I have a feeling that Anaheim's going to go with William Eklund here if they keep this pick. They need forwards. They need centers really bad. They have Zegras. You get a guy like Eklund. The thing is, though, Eklund projects to be more of a winger in the NHL. However, a very good offensive winger nonetheless. Now, if it goes to 4 and Hughes is still there, I would think that New Jersey would take him. Although this happened a little while ago. There was a brother that came up and everybody was disappointed that they didn't take the brother. And I can't remember who it was now. Can you guys help me out who that was? But yeah, I think it'll probably be Hughes in that spot. So we got William Eklund going 3. Hughes. I wouldn't even surprise if Dylan Guenther goes 3 to Anaheim, honestly. Now, if William Eklund is gone, I have a feeling that Detroit's going to take that Swedish goaltender, Jesper Wallstedt. I have a feeling. They have like basically no goaltenders in their depth at all. So I have a feeling they're going to go with that. If they don't, they'll go with Simone Edvinsson. That's the other one. I think a lot of people are going to kick themselves that they didn't take Edvinsson. But wait a second. I forgot about Columbus, didn't I? Columbus will take Edvinsson. Then Detroit will take William Edvinsson is like a Slavin type player. He's not going to be huge offensively, but he's big. He skates like the wind. And, I don't even know if, like, it's hard to put a spot on him. Maybe like, what's his name from Vancouver? Edler. Somebody like Edler, somebody like that. So I think with Columbus losing Jones, they probably want a forward here, but I just have a feeling they'll go with the defenseman. It's too good to let him go there in that spot. I think Detroit will take the goaltender. I like McTavish. And however, it'll be a toss-up between McTavish and Dylan Guenther. And Dylan Guenther, I think, with Columbus losing Jones, they probably want a forward here, but I just have a feeling they'll go with the defenseman. I think Detroit will take the goaltender. I like McTavish. And however, it'll be a toss-up between McTavish and Dylan Guenther. And there'll be a lot of talking, I think, in San Jose about which one they're going to pick. My guess is they go with McTavish, and then you're going to see Gunther fall. Actually, no, you won't. LA, we were talking about LA trading that pick. Let's say they go to Tampa Bay. Let's say they trade that pick to Tampa Bay. They get Killorn in a package or whatever. Tampa Bay would take Dylan Gunther there for sure. Although they really... Oh, wait, you know what? We haven't even got Brandt Clark yet. Jeez. San Jose could really use that. I'm sorry. San Jose will take Brandt Clark. San Jose needs young defensemen so bad, it's insane. Like, they got nothing in their system for young defensemen. I think McTavish is great, but so then that would mean that McTavish would fall to Tampa Bay, and they would for sure take McTavish, which would mean that Gunther would go down to 9. And from what I'm hearing, Vancouver is in love with Kent Johnson. And by the way, Kent Johnson can go up here anywhere. He's the slickest guy probably in this draft. He's got so many moves. He's crazy, man. But so that would mean that Gunther would go all the way down to Calgary. Calgary would for sure take Gunther there. First of all, he's an Alberta boy. So I think he would take Gunther all day. Then Chicago would take Chaz Lucius. They might, and then the hardest one to do is who's going to take the goaltenders. Well, they're not going to pick to the second round, so it's not going to matter. I'm pretty sure Calgary will take Lucius. By the way, I mean, I could see them taking Cole Sillinger too. I love Cole Sillinger, but Chaz Lucius has been moving up so fast. Oh, it'd be tough. Now, let me scratch that. He's from Sioux Falls. His father played for Calgary. I'm going to say that Calgary takes Cole Sillinger here, which would suck for Philadelphia because that's the guy I want Philadelphia to take. Yeah, Svechkov, it's hard to take him because of his offense, yeah. And then Chicago then would take Chaz Lucius. Fabian Lysell, maybe. I don't think Philadelphia wants another small forward like that here. He plays tough, though. Plays like really tough. But they pick those guys all the time. I'm going to say they take, oh man. What do you guys think Philadelphia takes? I don't think they take Svechkov. Do they go off the board? The best shooter available is Brennan Othman from Switzerland. Once it gets down here, it gets really tough. Yeah, I think it's just that Juan Foligno is a free agent this year, and he has an opportunity. I think Toronto always knew that he was going to go to Minnesota. They just took him for a while, and then Minnesota didn't need him at the time. Yeah, Hoffman could go anywhere because he's probably one of the best shots in the draft. He's got a killer shot. So, but once you get down here, Carson Lambos had a horrible year last year. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Philly goes with the defenseman and Carson Lambos there. Or Corson Kuhlmans. Corson Kuhlmans is a big boy, too. What did he do? He played in the AHL. Corson Kuhlmans is a Czech pro. Silky smooth out there. That's who the guy... I would take a gamble on Kuhlmans. He didn't play much this year. But going by what he was going to be, I think I would take Kuhlmans if I was Philadelphia there. Bourgeau, Xavier Bourgeau. Oh, no, it's Zachary Lauro. Zachary Lauro is like a poor man's Marchand. Xavier Bourgeau. Do they have that? Dynamic offensive player who is relentless on puck pursuit. An excellent finisher, works best in the offensive zone. An underrated playmaker too. He had 40 points in 29 games in the Q, which doesn't really say much. He's 6 foot 172. He doesn't sound like a bad package. Hey, Mercer, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. We were doing a bit of a mock draft here. I like Matthew Coronado a lot, but he's small. I have a feeling the Rangers are going to trade that pick, but if they don't, I think Dallas would take Fabian Lysell. He would be perfect for them. They've got a big team already. He plays Dallas style. He plays like a little bat out of hell. And he's super skilled. What did he have? In the World Junior Championships, he had 9 points in 7 games. He just had 3 points in 26 games in the SHL, but the fact that he even played in the Swedish Elite League at his age is pretty impressive. So, yeah, I like him for Dallas. And then the Rangers, Kuhlmans is gone. Who am I missing here? Oh, sorry, Gunther. Jeez, where did I say Gunther went? Oh yeah, he went to Calgary. Never mind. And then it's like right off the board. It could be. Who knows? Winnipeg likes to go with the Western boys. Maybe Otto Ratti. I mean, that guy fell off so hard. I don't know what happened with that guy. It scares me. It really does. Like, hey, Evan, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Not too many people came in today. It was a small crowd, so. Atu Ratu, yeah. What did I say? Did I say it right? Oh, is it not Ratty? It's Atu Ratu. Okay, it's not the Y. But anyways, he fell off horrible. In fact, they're even saying late in the first round, maybe even 26, 27, something like that. If I got a late pick, like Nashville, Simone Robertson, I haven't heard anything about him. Is he another Swede? He's from Sweden. He's got some silky hands that can create space for himself. He reads the game well, got a great motor, and he's one heck of a wrist shot. Possibly the best one in the draft class. Really? Two-way forward with speed and agility, good offensive instincts. Simone Robertson. Got 4 points. Seems like a pretty interesting package, but I hadn't even heard of him until I just saw that. I never really paid attention to him. So I don't know who anybody's going to pick here. Daniel Shaka is Shaka's son from Arizona. Well, did play for Arizona. Quite raw. Long term. No, wait. Shaka is from Oh, he played in the KHL. Oh, he's a defenseman too. Yeah, I think they take Power, Mercer. Yeah, so Atu Ratu, but I don't know what happened to that guy. It's funny, you don't hear like, okay, you say, well, he really dropped off, but why? Why did he drop off? That's the thing is, you got to know why. Yeah, we were just talking about it. Sounds like the Rangers in Minnesota are the ones that are up there now. So if that's the case, they're not going to get a super high pick here. If it was the Rangers, they would get. We went over like a package of what they would get. I think we were like Strome, Kako, who else? Strome, Kako, Buchnevich, I think. Is that what we said? Who am I missing? Strome, Kako, is somebody else. Kravtsov, maybe? And then Miller. I think that's just too much. I just can't give Miller with all of that. Is Line on the trading block again? I don't. Kravtsov, yeah. And then Minnesota was Ate Ratu, or not Ate Ratu, I just said that. Rossi, Fiala, probably Kalen Addison, and some picks, something like that. New York Rangers, I think, can put up a better package, but you really want to trade Eichel into the East? I don't know how interested they're going to be in Strome, but I would be very interested in Miller. I would be all over Miller. I freaking love that guy. He reminds me of McDonough quite a bit. And besides that, there's so many players that could go in the top. Once you get to like 20 or after 25, it's a crapshoot who's going to be in the first round or second. Like, I've heard so many different players that have been the first or second rounds. Anyway, so I'm going to turn my window capture off now. There we go. Talk to you guys for a bit. Oh, look at that. I'm frozen. When did I freeze? I guess you guys wouldn't have noticed that I froze. What the heck? That's crazy. I froze. Wow. Let me turn it back on again. There you go. Now we're back. I froze. Well, they got that Schneider kid coming up too. That's the thing, and that he put up way more offense last year than anyone expected. He was like a point a game. He wasn't really considered an offensive guy, and he just went off. He plays like Bieksa. He plays like Bieksa played, and maybe even better offensively. Like, he's crazy good. And he's a righty. And they got Robertson coming up. So it's possible they could actually afford to trade Miller, which is, if Miller's part of that deal, I think I got to, I mean, if Anaheim's out and LA's out, and the Rangers are offering up Miller, Kravtsov, Strome, and Kako, Miller, Kravtsov, Strome, and Kako, and a first-round pick, I think I got to do that deal. I mean, I don't like trading with the Rangers, but that's a pretty sweet deal. Kravtsov, I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to be a super offensive player, but he looks like he's definitely going to be a middle six. Miller looks like he's going to be a top 1-2 defenseman. Who said, somebody mentioned about, shoot, I forgot. They were talking about, that Buffalo defenseman. I wanted to talk about it and then I completely forgot. Why do I always forget his name? Know who was good? Crab was good in the KHL, yeah. He's got some adjustment to do. I'm not going to put really much of a judgment on him yet because he's got to adjust to North America. He just came in last year, didn't he? Somebody asked me a really good question. I think it was CL. And I forgot about it, and I just remembered it now. And it was about Buffalo. It was about Ristolainen. It was basically the Philadelphia and Boston was in on Ristolainen or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I like the tools of Ristolainen, but he hasn't really used those tools well so far in his career. You'd be really... Was it you? Are you still there, CL? Was it you that said that? Something about Ristolainen. Anyways, I would be very careful with Ristolainen. I don't think he's going to bring us a very big haul. I haven't heard anything about Laine not wanting Laine trades. I did hear Laine go off on Tortorella, though. He didn't like Tortorella. He said that he didn't let you play creatively, that he made you play like a robot, and he's his own guy, and that's that. And he was going to play his way, and that's the way it's going to be, or something like that. I don't think I would go with Risto. I'd see what York is going to be and go from there. Right now, what does it look like? Like, I agree, their defense doesn't look finished yet in Philadelphia. Especially if they take Gosh to Spear, which I think Seattle will probably do. Then you've got York. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if York comes in and plays a regular shift and just crushes it. The guy has been, every time I saw him play, in whether it was in college or the World Juniors, every time I saw him play, he was way ahead of where I thought he was going to be. So I would not be surprised if York came in and played a regular shift. But even at that, I still think they need another defenseman. I agree with you. I think they need another defenseman anyways, because I don't want Justin Braun playing a regular shift there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I imagine they are trying to. I don't know what happened to Logan Brown, man. Like, he just did not progress at all. They'll probably find somebody, but they're not going to get much for him. Yeah, he's okay. I don't like playing Hag every game. Hag is a guy like a 7. Yeah. 7D, where you put him in certain situations. Certain games you want him in there. But, I mean, if you're playing against a team that gets on you really fast and can strip the puck off you, I don't want Hag. But if you're playing against a team that you can beat up in the corners really well, then I want Hag. And keep him on fresh legs all the time, too, so he has a bit of an advantage. But I do think they need one more guy, especially if they lose Ghost, and I think that's pretty likely. Free agency? Well, I got extra time here. Why not? You guys are awesome. Come here. Let's look at free agency. Why not? Why not Ryan Suter? I like Ryan Suter. Yeah, that's going to be the tough one to get a good backup for Hart, I think. I have a feeling we're going to end up settling for Mrazek. I have a feeling. But I like Ryan Suter for Philly if he was willing to go there. You do have Chuck Fletcher there, which gave him the big money. He could just fill a spot for a year or two until York is for sure ready. Right? Parise goes, Parise? I don't think so. Well, I suppose, but I mean, if he really doesn't care about winning a cup, I guess. It's tough for Parise. He's going to have to sign like $1 million contract or something like that. He doesn't need the money. So I would have to imagine he's going to be looking for... I would have to imagine he's going to be looking for... Where is he from? Minnesota area? I didn't think he was. I know he's American, but I didn't think he was from the Minnesota area. Oh, he is from Minnesota. Okay. So, I mean, if he wanted to stay around Minnesota, which I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know if Boston could use him for $1 million, maybe. The Rangers. I don't see New Jersey. Maybe Philadelphia, but if he signs for league minimum or something like that to help out with the kids. Because that's right by New Jersey, at least he's like his second home. But if he's willing to go anywhere, New York Islanders will sign him for $1 million. Because they almost traded for him already. Lamoriello knows him, so he knows the character of him and stuff like that. That would be my guess. He would probably go to the Islanders. Toronto. Where's Weichel? Weichel's obviously not on right now, or he would have been saying Toronto for sure, I would imagine. Yeah, Toronto somewhat makes sense, I suppose. I wouldn't doubt that Edmonton calls him up. It's just below Minnesota. They like to give, who knows? There we go, John Weichel. It's like he heard us. Edmonton would probably sign Parise as a free agent for like $3 million for 3 years. And then, just to be nice, Holland would give them a 3rd-round pick anyways. I got to tell Peyton that one. I wonder how many more buyouts for. Yeah, Edmonton kind of makes some sense, doesn't it? I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they already signed Keith. They want these. Did Parise win a cup when he was in New Jersey? I don't think he did. He was too late for that. He could pad his stats for a year or two, maybe, and he might be able to play okay with. They could play him 5-on-5 with McDavid and, just play him like 9 minutes a night and see if he can get some magic with McDavid. Maybe. It would have to be a really cheap contract. But like I said, he doesn't need any money. And if he still wants to be close to Minnesota, it's not that far away. Like, when you got that kind of money and you got kids, giving your kids like $700 to go fly to Minnie on a weekend to see their friends and stuff like that, it's a short flight. It would only be like maybe an hour and a half, 2-hour flight, if that. I don't know. Let's see. So they could fly there in the morning, hang out for the weekend, and come back at night. What is the flight? Goligoski to the Boston Bruins makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. The only thing that I'm maybe not a fan of is if you lose Lazon. Maybe I want somebody a little bigger than that because you've already got Grzelcyk in the lineup. What about Hjalmarsson? Hjalmarsson to the Boston Bruins. And I said already, I really think Savard is a perfect fit there. Not Savard, Suter. I think Suter is a perfect fit. Suter's a good pick for Philadelphia, but it's a little far from Minnesota. Yeah, we'll see what Frost does in Philly. I'm not sure about his upside, to tell you the honest truth. But, I mean, I think they'd be looking for somebody bigger, but if they can't find somebody, Goligoski's not a bad guy to pick. He's still got a lot of legs. Like, he's one of the most underrated defensemen of this generation, honestly. He's been a really solid defenseman for a long time. He was great in Dallas. He was great in Pittsburgh. Like, he just never got the credit he deserved, Goligoski. I think Kuemper's staying in Arizona now, it looks like. They traded Hill to San Jose. And they traded Hill to San Jose, so I think Kuemper's staying. Like, if you trade away Kuemper now, what are you going to do? Are they going to have nobody in Arizona? They do got to get to the cap, bottom of the cap. Getting Ladd helped that. Yeah, he is, but it looks like Arizona's going to take him. I don't even think if Arizona cares if Kuemper gets hurt. Like, I think Arizona wants to make sure they get a top 3 pick next year. They want one of those top 3 guys. I thought Freddie Anderson made sense for the San Jose Sharks, but they went with Hill. I don't even know if that was really the wisest move. But they went with Hill, so I'm not sure. Again, those are tough ones when you're talking about Anderson and Bishop, because I don't know how healthy they are. Until you know how healthy they are, it's hard to say. If he's not healthy, he won't be in Toronto. If he's not 100%, I don't know. If he's 100%, he probably won't be as good as he was before. But I could see him maybe going to Pittsburgh and helping Jari out. That would be one place anyways. He's got a friend there in Pittsburgh in why do I forget names? Oh, Pittsburgh Penguins have no cap room whatsoever. He wouldn't. Kasperi Kapanen. They got Kapanen. He played with. They got Kapanen there. Maybe. Pittsburgh makes some sense. They got to roll the dice quite a bit. I'm sure they'll sign him now. I have a feeling that San Jose is going to try to do something to get Jones over to Seattle. But that's tough because they don't really have draft picks to give up. And Seattle has so much leverage on that. They're not going to give them their first this year or next year. But I think they're going to try really hard to get Jones over to Seattle. That they want to give that contract to somebody, I think, but maybe Arizona. But it's going to take us. I think it's going to be tough for them to do. San Jose. I suppose they could stick with Binnington and who? They're Binnington for sure. I wasn't really. I would want a better goaltender than Husso. I didn't really think he was that good last year, and he doesn't really turn my crank. But I imagine they'll see what falls off the tree. Didn't Arizona also get that Cornash too, right? Yeah, so that Cornash will probably be their backup. They got him on a 2-way contract. San Jose Sharks. Oh my gosh, they got no cap room. It's horrible. What was I looking at with that? Oh, draft picks. That's what it was. Yeah, see, they've only got a first, a third, and 2 fourths. They gave their second round picks up already. Like, I don't know how I would want their 2 sec. I'd want their first. Somewhere along the line here to take that Jones contract. But if they could get out from under that Martin Jones contract, that would help out an awful lot. But then you don't want Aiden Hill for the full time either, right? That would they would have to give up a pick to get rid of that Matt Murray contract. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think I'd take Jones' contract over Murray's right now. I mean, they could. The St. Louis Blues on Husso, it looks like they're going to keep him, but I don't know. He wasn't that great last year. I think they're just happy with the goaltender that can get along with Binnington, and Husso seems to get along with him. They played together in the minors for a while, so he was able to get along with Binnington, and it appears that Binnington is really hard to get along with. So. Anyways, I pushed her a while here. It was awesome. You guys are great. Thanks for coming in. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll be back on again from 3:30 to 5:30. I hope I see you all there. Tell all your friends. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye.